Welcome everyone to tonight's live. As always, I truly appreciate you guys coming and joining me on the live, sitting with me for about an hour, hour and a half, talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is astrology. And tonight hello, Katrina. And tonight we're going to be talking about the infamous Mercury Retrograde. Now, as I was talking to Letta earlier, I hate that the retrogrades get a bad rap because they're not bad. They're just, for me, I look at them as a time to reset. Now, every planet goes through a retrograde period. Other than the only two are the luminaries, which is the sun and the moon. Outside of that, every other planet goes through a retrograde period. However, Mercury is like the most popular. People know more about it, and because Mercury affects more of our day-to-day things, we feel it more. Okay, so that's why the Mercury retrograde is so popular, but keep in mind all the planets outside of the sun and the moon have a retrograde phase. Okay, so but we're talking about Mercury retrograde that's coming up officially on May the 10th. That's the official date that it starts, May the 10th. And the official date that it ends is June the 3rd. Now, I say the official date because, as I always tell you, you can start feeling this energy. Hey, April. You can start feeling this energy anywhere from two weeks as far back as a month prior to it happening, to it officially starting. So most of the time, those of you that are very intuitive, are very sensitive to the energy going on around you, you probably have already picked up on things slowing down in your life, things being a little bit more challenging to accomplish, things being a little bit more confusing. You may already start to feel this energy, and now you know that, oh, we are about to go into a retrograde period. And what we're in now is considered the pre-shadow period, okay? So I like to come on during this time so we can be prepared and we won't be surprised. But I'm sure a lot of you are already feeling it, okay? Now, we're going to start with going over the basics of the Mercury retrograde and what it represents, and then we're going to go in and break down how it's going to affect each of you based on your rising sign. And the tricky thing about this one particular retrograde is it is going to go retrograde in 2 signs as opposed to 1. So you're actually going to have 2 areas of your life that are going to be impacted by this Mercury retrograde, and I will tell you the dates in which you will know when the transition happens. Okay, so you're getting 2 areas of your life that are going to be a little bit chaotic for the month of May. Okay, so Mercury, the planet of all things communication. This is the planet of communication, how we think, how we speak, how we process information. This is the planet of transportation. This is the planet of anything electronics, anything with moving parts, particularly our cars. This is the planet of our written correspondence, contracts, and things of that nature. So anything that is under communication and by way of us learning, teaching, all of that falls into the line of Mercury, okay? So Mercury is going to be going into retrograde. Now, if you're not familiar with what a retrograde is, I'm going to tell you really quickly. Retrograde, basically, you hear it says Mercury is moving backwards. But in actuality, no planet moves backwards, okay? What happens is the planet Mercury's orbits slows down. It gets really, really slow. But so it gives the appearance of moving backwards because it's moving very, very slowly, and all the other planets around it are still orbiting at their normal pace. So it just gives the illusion that it's moving backwards. That is a retrograde. It just slows down its orbit. Now, anytime a planet goes into retrograde, it is not working at its best, okay? Because that is a time for Mercury says it is time for us to reset, reevaluate, relook at, regenerate anything going backwards on certain things. This is the time for us to stop, take a pause, take a breather, and assess the things that are going on in our life and to see if we're going in the correct direction or do we need to make some adjustments, okay? Now, it will also cause some chaos in the area of communication, particularly with the verbal communication. Like you're talking to someone and you think you're communicating one thing, but they're hearing something else. So a lot of the communication is broken down, okay? So that's why we say not to have those life-changing conversations during a Mercury retrograde, because you may not be articulating it as effectively as you think you are, and somehow it gets jumbled up, the message gets jumbled up, okay? Another thing that we caution you is initiating anything new, okay? This is not the ideal time to initiate anything new. Buying any type of high ticket items or anything that has moving parts or electronics, it is not a good time to purchase those things, because more than likely there's going to be a problem with those things, okay? This is not a good time to go into new negotiations or new agreements with people, particularly signing things. And the reason it is because you may not see the fine print. You may be reading the contract one way, but it's interpreted another way. So now you're signing off on something that you really didn't have a clear understanding about, and it could come back on you later on, okay? This is also really not a good time to start a new relationship. And usually I will say under a Venus retrograde, because Venus is the planet of love, that is really not a good time to start a new relationship. But, well, thank you so much. Guess what I'm wearing? So, Marcia, I'm going to detour just quickly. Marcia's on here. She's my personal stylist. She is the owner of Blue Label Boutique, and I am wearing the Athena dress, and I love it. It fits me so well. So, I'm wearing the Athena dress. Go to her website. She has beautiful, beautiful clothing. It is quality clothing, and I can attest to that because I have like this crazy little body type, and I really can't wear a lot of things that I wish I could, and finally have a boutique where I can order online and not have to worry about how it's going to fit. It fits me every time. So go over there. And she's also the founder of Living Intentionally brand. It is all about living in your purpose. So she's gonna, yeah, she pinned it down there. Go on there. She has some beautiful things, I always, when I'm ready to go on vacation, I always go on there and buy a lot of stuff to go on vacation. So this is the Athena dress. It is beautiful. I am very top heavy. So anytime I can get something that fits me around here and looks really, really nice, I'm always happy about it. So there you go. All right. So where was I? Oh, the relationship. It's really not good to start a new relationship under a Mercury retrograde, okay? It may start off wonderfully. It may start off great and hugs and kisses, but as we get out of the energy of the retrograde, you may start to see that this person was really not what you thought, or what you thought you were getting into may not necessarily be what you wanted to be in. So starting any new relationships, signing any new contracts, doing any type of agreements, this is a time for you to be very patient when you are traveling, okay? Statistics show during a Mercury retrograde, the rate of accidents, car accidents, increase. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Deborah. Yeah, it'll still be on here, so watch the replay. Okay, so statistics show during a Mercury retrograde, the number of accidents increase because people are not paying attention. So please be cautious when you're driving. You're going to have a lot of patience with travel, especially air travel. Things get delayed. So have a lot of patience, have a lot of grace with people, and just take your time. So if you need to be at the airport at a certain time, I would suggest you get there 2 hours early, because it's always a drama with travel during a Mercury retrograde. Let's see. All right, I got me a Virgo on here. What else during the Mercury retrograde? Things get lost. And mine has already started because I got an email that my delivery from Fashion Nova, they had delivered it on my doorstep. I went downstairs. Ain't no Fashion Nova package down there. Oh, Fashion Nova is another one that I can wear. My package is not there, so I have no clue where my Fashion Nova package is. So I'm just going to have to deal with that later on. But that's the kind of things that happen. Things get lost in the mail. Correspondence gets lost in the mail. And it's just a time for you to say. Now, I know I said all that, and you're thinking to yourself, well, what the hell is good about this Mercury retrograde? Any retrograde is wonderful. You have to learn how to use the energy, because this is a time, again, for you to stop. This is the universe giving you the opportunity to slow down. Because sometimes during life, we get so caught up, and we're constantly moving from one project to another, from one thing to another. We don't give ourselves the chance to just stop and look and see if what we're doing makes sense, or are we just spinning our wheels? So this retrograde gives you the time to just sit and reevaluate your life, okay, and just slow down. It gives you a reset button, which we all need. So you can use this energy of the Mercury retrograde in this way. If there are projects that you had that did not seem to get off the ground, or you couldn't get them started, or you were really passionate about it, but for some reason you just couldn't get it off the ground, this is the time for you to go back to those projects and look at them from a different perspective, because now you have new eyes on it. So you're going to go in and look at it and see if there's a way that you can reconstruct or redirect or rechannel or renew whatever this thing is. So this is all about going back on existing things, not starting anything new, going back on existing things and see if you can make them new again. A lot of times you will find that you see things differently because you're now in a space of being able to look at it for what it is and just really, really take your time and figure out, how can I make this work in a different way? The retrograde is awesome for that. Another thing that you'll find with the retrograde is missed opportunities. And let's say, for instance, you've been looking for a job, and you had this ideal job in mind, and you applied for the job, and either you didn't get it or you didn't hear anything back from it. A lot of times, missed opportunities, you hear back from them again. And I love that, because a lot of times you'll hear about, like I said, people that have applied for jobs at certain companies and they didn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden these people contact them. So a lot of missed opportunities come up, and they come back around with the opportunity of you looking at them differently. Now, anything that is a redo, you can move forward with it. If it's brand new, then you can't. Okay, that's pretty good. Renew, you can, okay, girl, I'm all over here rhyming and stuff. So if it's a redo, move forward with it. But if it's brand new, I would not suggest you do it. Now, life is life. Life is life. We cannot stop life because we have a Mercury retrograde. So with that being said, if there's things that you need to do and you just really don't have the luxury of waiting until mid-June to make a decision on something, go ahead and do what you need to do. But keep in mind, there may come a time that you have to revisit this thing and look at it again, okay? But if you can hold off until mid-June on those big decisions, I would say yes. But like I said, life is life, and we can't just stop every time Mercury goes into retrograde. Go on your gut instinct, do your due diligence, do your homework, do the best that you can, and then move forward with whatever your decision is, okay? Now, one of the biggest things that happens with the Mercury retrograde, people come back into our lives. So, and that's also with the Venus retrograde, but mostly with the Venus retrograde, that's a lot of old love. But Mercury retrogrades are notorious for bringing old people back into our lives. So This could look like old lovers, old boyfriends. This could look like old friends, people that you haven't. You just said the thing. Oh, okay. Old friends, stuff like that. So you run into people like that. So just anticipate running into hearing from old people from the past. Now, if you don't actually hear from someone, this also gives you the energy of thinking about someone, from your past. Now, I always caution people, particularly if it is a romantic connection. If someone comes back to you that you had a romantic connection with, and they are looking for another chance with you, I would be very cautious on jumping back into that relationship. And here's why. Mercury retrograde is a very temporary energy. So what could possibly happen is this person comes back, you think that they've changed, they saying all the good stuff, and you remembering all the good times, and you ain't remember all that trash ass behavior that was going on and that toxic shit that was going on in your relationship, and then you get back together. And then as we start progressively getting out of the retrograde, then you start to see this motherfucker ain't changed. It has not changed at all. So the Mercury retrograde energy is a temporary energy. I would say if you do have someone that comes back into your life in a romantic capacity, take it slow. Take it slow. And let's see how this pans out after we get out of the retrograde energy to see if this person truly has changed and if the relationship is different. Okay. Now, another thing that you will find with relationships is if you are in a relationship, old issues may come up again. So things that you thought you had resolved in your relationship could come back up again. And you didn't need to miss anything, Shakita. I was just kind of like going over the basics of what Mercury retrograde is. So you may have old issues that come back up in your relationship, okay? And when I say relationship, this could also be, it doesn't necessarily have to be always romantic, but it could be business, it could be family dynamics, it could be friends, any type of issue that you thought you had dealt with before could come back up again, and you have to deal with it again, okay? Can I burn my during a Mercury retrograde? Can you burn your candles during a Mercury retrograde? I would say if you're burning candles, let's burn our candles on things that we've already burnt them on. I wouldn't start any new type of candle burning on anything new. So if we still burning our money candles, we're staying in the energy of money, yes, we can do that. If we're still burning candles around our business or something like that, yes. I wouldn't start anything new. That's the only thing that I would say. I wouldn't start anything new. Okay? I hope that answers your question. All right. So does anyone have any questions on how the Mercury retrograde energy works? And that's just general overall for everyone. Because now we're going to break it down for this specific retrograde and how it's going to play out in everyone's individual life. Okay? Now keep in mind, once we talk about the individual areas it's going to be in, that's one thing. But this general information that we just talked about, that could be across the board for everyone. So does anyone have any questions or need me to clarify anything? Oh, I got my Libra risings in here. All righty. So if you are in the live now, before we get started, all my predictions are based on your rising sign, or you may hear it referred to as your ascendant sign. Okay? So it is always in your best interest to know your rising sign, because your rising sign is the, is the energy that is going on with you real time, okay? Your sun sign is the general characteristics of that sun sign. So you want to listen for your rising sign first and your sun sign second, and then you can also listen for your moon sign, because that's going to give you a big overall picture of what is going on around you in your life. Now, if you do not have your rising sign, you can Google birth chart calculator, free natal chart calculator. It's going to bring up, just pick the first one that comes up. You'll need your date of birth, you'll need your place of birth, and you will need your birth time. The birth time is very, very important because the birth time calculates the rising sign. Now, if you don't have your birth time, then that's okay. Listen for your sun sign, okay? But at some point, I would love for you guys to have your rising sign because it's very important. And moving forward, even if you're not on my live and you're just reading your horoscope, you always want to read your rising sign first and then your sun sign second. All right? Now, also, if you're on this live and you've had a personal reading with me, thank you so much. And you cannot remember your rising sign, I will be more than happy to go in my database and find it for you. And I can either just put it in the chat, or if you want to inbox me real quickly because you want to remain anonymous, then I can do that. All right, so give me a thumbs up if we're ready to proceed, because I am so excited about this Mercury retrograde coming up. I am so excited about it. All right, thumbs up, great. All right, so pen and a piece of paper so you can remember this. The Mercury retrograde officially starts May the 10th and it ends June the 3rd. But it's going to be broken down into two signs because it's going to go through two signs this time, not just one. So from May the 10th to May the 22nd, the Mercury retrograde is going to be in the sign of Gemini. Okay? And from May the 22nd to June the 3rd, the Mercury retrograde will be in the sign of Taurus. So it's going to cover two different signs and two different areas of your life. So the first part is going to be in Gemini, and this is going to it's going to affect everyone, but there are certain signs that are going to feel it more intensely. So that will be Gemini, that will be Virgo, that will be Pisces, and Sagittarius. Okay, so the first half of the Mercury retrograde is in Gemini, and it is going to really weigh heavily on my Geminis, my Virgos, my Pisces, and my Sagittarians. Okay, now when we get to May 22nd and then to the end of the retrograde, it's going to be in Taurus. So it's going to weigh heavily on my Tauruses, my Scorpios, my Leos, and I'm missing somebody. My Aquarians. That's it. All right. However, everybody's going to feel it, okay? But you guys are just going to get a little bit more pressure on you because it's, I have my mutable signs and my fixed signs are going to be the stars of the show. So let's get started. So we're gonna okay, I can do this. Okay, so let's start at the top of the zodiac as we always do with our Aries risings. If you don't have your rising sign, listen for your sun sign. So this is Aries rising or Aries sun. The first part of the Mercury retrograde is going to affect the area that has everything to do with your communication. So this will look like a slowdown or a difficulty or challenges around how you communicate. So as we talked about before, things that you're saying and what you think you're articulating may not be coming across in that way to the person that's receiving the information. So you're going to have to be very mindful of slowing down and making sure that what you're communicating is in a way that's effective and everyone understands. So just prepare for a lot of miscommunications, miscommunications in your verbal conversations, possibly miscommunications in your written conversations. This is not the time, Aries risings, for you to be texting a lot, because what you're texting could possibly come across totally different, okay? So if you can, it would be more in your best interest to have a verbal conversation. I would even say go as far as to write down what you want to say and rehearse what you want to say, because it's going to be just that important. Aries risings, be prepared for the potential for car issues. So there may be some transportation issues come up with you with your car. So if you can, just be diligent about taking care of your car, but that could be a possibility for you. There could be miscommunications, particularly with your siblings, cousins, extended family, and your neighbors could fall into this also, with communications with neighbors. Those of you that are trying to go to school or been going to school, there may be mix up with schedules. There may be mix up with the potential for financial aid or whatever it is. So there may be mix-ups around your educational pursuits, but your communication is a big deal. So if you're also planning a trip, please be patient. Please be patient and be careful on the road for my Aries risings, okay? Because this is really an energy of being distracted while you're driving. So just be careful. And there is an increase in accidents during this time. Now, the second half of the Mercury retrograde is going to have everything to do with your money. Okay, so when we get to May 22nd, that energy is going to switch to your money. So this is all about the money that you earned. So this could look like, and I just have to say it, the potential for the loss of a job. Okay, now, don't panic because it's a Mercury retrograde. You could lose your job. But as quickly as you lost a job, you could be replacing that with something else. So I just want you to be prepared for a shift or a change or a disruption with regards to how you earn your money. Making sure that bills that particularly are paying online, that you are making sure that you are paying your bills online and you're submitting them to the end, because computer problems could come up. So making sure that you're being careful with things that you transmit. Oh, you didn't miss anything by way of bill paying online. Just be careful with that. Keep up with your banking, checking your bank balance, making sure there's no fraudulent activity on there. That could come up during the Mercury retrograde. But this could also be a supportive energy for you hearing back from, again, like we talked about, job opportunities that may have passed you by, or you thought that you didn't qualify for the job, so you never heard back from them, but you may hear back from them. This is also a good time for those of Aries risings that are looking for employment to restart your work search, but restart it with companies that you applied with before. Okay, you may have better success with that as opposed to new company, a new company. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, this is all about your communications, the first half, and your money, the second half on your Mercury retrograde. Okay, Taurus risings or sun. The first part of the Mercury retrograde, again, this is about your money. So this is just the reverse. So everything we talked about, Aries, you're going to be dealing with it the first part of the retrograde. So that May the 10th to June May the 22nd is revolving around your money. The second half of the retrograde for you, Taurus rising, has to do with yourself and your identity and your physical body and how you show up. Now, this could definitely put you in a space of if you've had some underlying health issues, if something's been going with you in your physical body, you may start to have issues with regards to your health that come back up again, okay? So being mindful of listening to your body is very important during this transit, okay? Particularly because it's in Taurus, this could have something to do with your voice, or your throat, or somewhere around this area, maybe your thyroid or something. So just possibly anticipate a health issue or a health concern could come back up again during this period. Now, you could decide that you'd be thinking about changing your wardrobe or changing your hairstyle or doing something to your physical body or the aesthetics of you. I would caution you not to do that. I would caution you not to do anything with the changing of your body that could be permanent, because if you do it under a Mercury retrograde, you may regret it later on. Well, once we come out of this and you find out that you really didn't like this haircut or whatever that is. Also, if you are if you're having elective surgery, if you can you put off your surgery? Listen, I am not a medical professional, and I am not dispensing medical advice, and I am not telling you to listen to me as opposed to your doctor. Oh, shoot. This is the phone call I was talking about. I'll get it later. I would say if it's an elective procedure and it doesn't have to be done, consult with your doctor to see if this is something that could be put off, okay? It's really not a good time to do elective procedures. Let's wait until the energy is a little bit more stable, because it might be more of a hassle than it's worth. It may get canceled and rescheduled, and then, you know, we're going into surgery. The last thing you want to do is have something canceled because it gets your nerves up. So if you can, consult with your doctor and see if this is something that can be put off at least until July, okay? But the good part about this is all about you. So you're probably going to be the one that's going to be running into a lot of old friends, old lovers. A lot of old opportunities could come back your way, okay? And I would say to you, if you have any projects that you have kind of like pushed to the wayside and you felt like they just wasn't taking off, this is the time for you to look at them again with a fresh new perspective, okay? Gemini rising or sun, all that information I just gave Taurus rising, that is going to be your first half of this Mercury retrograde. So that's going to be you from May the 10th to May the 22nd. But the second half of the retrograde Gemini rising is going to have to do with things in the 12th house. And those are things that are geared around closure, endings, trauma, specialized populations. So these are people that are in hospitals, rehab centers, or prisons, things of that nature. So I would say to you, for my Gemini risings, you're another one that could possibly be hearing from someone from the past. And I'm feeling like this is probably somebody that you really don't want to hear from or don't want to deal with. Dynamics that come up for you could possibly come from a space of a traumatic experience. Like something that you thought that you had healed from, or that you had just kind of put in your past, that could come up again. And that could be triggered by somebody coming back that puts you back in that space. Or it could just be triggered by a memory or an experience. This is the time where, for my Gemini risings, if you need to heal, you need to heal. If you are running from things that have been traumatic for you, you can't run from this anymore, okay? You need to heal. You need to take whatever steps you need to do, whether that is getting a therapist, whether that is getting a spiritual advisor. This is also good for my Gemini risings to just taking a time to isolate yourself. If there's been too much activity around you, you've been doing too much, you haven't had time to find a space where you can have some peace. This Mercury retrograde is all about finding your peace, all about pulling yourself away from all the busyness and then all the chaos to heal yourself, okay? Now, I don't know who this is for, but whoever the Gemini rising is that is dealing with someone in a prison or something to that effect, you may be hearing from someone in an institution of some sort. Now, that could look like somebody's contacting you from prison, or somebody just got out of jail and they're looking for you. I don't know what this is, but you can potentially have a run-in with someone that is probably has some type of prison type of situation going on. Now, with regards to the hospital, this could actually be you or someone else going into the hospital for a hospital stay of some sort. But I want you to take this energy to heal yourself and to deal with your traumas from the past. This is a great time for you to do that. And also, because this is Mercury and this is all about communication, Some of my Gemini risings may be the recipient of some very, very surprise information that has been kept from them, somewhat of a secret, and now it comes out. Whatever that looks like or whatever that is for you, just anticipate a lot of surprise information coming out. And this actually may be something that has to do with you, and some secrets that you may have been carrying that come out through no fault of your own, or it just kind of comes out. So, okay. So, my Cancer risings and Cancer suns. So that information I just gave Gemini, that's going to be your first half of the Mercury retrograde. But your second half of the Mercury retrograde is all about your friends. Friends, social groups, technology, unexpected blessings, and your long-term goals. So for my Cancer risings, you could be hearing a lot back from your old friends. So you may have old friends that come back. You may run across someone on Facebook and they send you a friend request and you haven't heard from them in a long time. So this is all about the reconnecting of friendships and friends coming back into your life. Be cautious with people returning, and this is for anyone. Be cautious with people returning to your life. Don't be so ready to jump on getting back in whatever that relationship or that dynamic is until we get past mid-June, because then you'll be able to see more clearly whether or not things have changed or if they're still the same. Okay, so but for my Cancer risings, yeah, that's a lot of reconnection with your friends. Now, this could also be issues that you've had with your friends could come up again. All right, so be prepared for that. All right, miscommunication with your friend groups. All right, so just be prepared for that. Now, this could actually bring my Cancer risings a lot of unexpected blessings from the past, unexpected opportunities from the past. If it's anything from the past, I would say move forward with it. But if this is something new that's coming into your life, if you can wait on taking advantage of that, just do your research first. So this could be unexpected money. This could be an unexpected job opportunity. It's unexpected, so we don't know exactly what it is. But if it's something that you've dealt with before, or you've started before, this is a great time for you to get involved with that. But if it's a brand new opportunity, again, I tell people, like we said, life is life. You can't put yourself on hold for a Mercury retrograde. You may have to go on your intuition, but if you can push this thing out until mid-June, I think you'd be in a better place to make a better decision for yourself. Okay? Leo risings or Leo suns. I'm a Leo rising. So the information that I just gave, Cancer rising, is going to be the first half of the Mercury retrograde for us. So correspondence with friends again, and dynamics with friends, and all that kind of stuff. So the second half of the Mercury retrograde for Leo risings have everything to do with your career. Now, this is the area of the chart that governs your career. It governs your reputation, your social image, prominent men in your life. So this could look like your father, your brother, your husband, the men that you surround yourself in your inner circle. Authority figures are in this house also. And the titles that we wear. So this is great for Leo risings that have missed opportunities or opportunities coming back by way of their career. So this could look like, I'm going to give you an example, personal example. There is a particular program that I wanted to be in with regards to my job. And I missed the opportunity to be in it. There's a possibility that during this Mercury retrograde, that opportunity could come back around for me to take advantage of. So things like that. So promotions, not a new job, but a job that you've had your eye on before, a company that you've wanted to work for before. This is a time for you to start redirecting your energy to past projects, past jobs, past career opportunities. This actually may put Leo risings in the energy of wanting to go back to a former career that they've had before. Okay? Now, this could also put you in a space of authority figures helping you from the past. So this is all about your career and your career image and your public image. This is also good for those of you that are in business, to rebrand yourself. This is great for rebranding. So if you have a business, you have a project, you have, a brand or whatever it is, this is a time for you to revamp yourself into something new. So rebranding is really, really important. Okay. And this is a relationship house also. Funny enough, it is, because it's about the titles that we wear. Some of my Leo risings could be running into an old love, trying to rekindle a relationship with someone. Now, if you guys have been trying to rekindle this relationship prior to the Mercury retrograde, you actually may be able to get in a good space. Okay? Now, these are only for my Leo risings that have been working on this thing with someone else. But prior to this, you guys could revamp your relationship into something new. Now, again, if you're a Leo rising and an old love comes back and it seems like this person has changed, can we just wait until mid-June to see if this person has really changed? Okay? There may be an opportunity for my Leo risings to rekindle love in a very, very serious way, but I want you guys to just take your time and make sure that the old issues aren't still an issue currently. All right? So do we have any questions? So next, let's talk about Virgo risings or Virgo suns. Now, all that information that we just talked about with the Leo risings, Virgo risings, this is going to be your first half of the Mercury retrograde. Your second half of the Mercury retrograde has everything to do with your education, higher education, long distance travel, a legal situation, your religion, your belief system, spirituality, things of that nature. So this is great for those of you. Now, I know I cautioned you about going on a trip. I know that, and I still stand by that. Be patient, plan as much as you can around a trip. But for my Virgo risings, I'm going to suggest that if you want to travel, particularly a long distance travel, travel to somewhere you've been before. You'll probably have an easier time planning a trip around somewhere that you've already been as opposed to somewhere new. Okay? You can do that. This may see some of my Virgo risings deciding to go back to school. This is great for you if you want to go back to school. Now, if the urge for school comes up for you and this is a new thing, how about we just slow it down, do as much research as possible. But this could also look like if you're just starting school. This could look like, the only way I would say this would be a good thing is if this was something that you've been wanting to study for a very long time. This is not something new. Like you've been wanting to study this, you just never got around to going to school for it, and now you want to start. That's safe. But also for those of you that just want to return to school, to educate yourself, to get that degree, to finish up your studies, this is going to be great for you. And again, the long distance travel, more success with traveling somewhere that you've already been before. Now, this could also put my Virgo risings in the space of questioning their faith, realigning with their faith. I think that's a better word, realigning with their faith. If you've kind of gotten away from your spiritual beliefs or your religious beliefs, this is a time for you to renew those things. This is a time for you to go back and get grounded and see your spirituality and your spiritual life in a different way. Okay, it'll have more meaning for you, and restructuring your faith and your beliefs. Also with your belief system, there could be some changes in what you believe, especially those belief systems that we've held on for so long. We are in such a transformative time that a lot of our old beliefs just don't match up to who we are now and what the world is like now. So this may be a reevaluation of what you believe in, what's important to you, your morals, your values, how they're realigning in your life, and how they're more aligned with and resonate with who you are now. Okay? So that's the second half of my Virgo rising. So Libra rising, the first half of the Mercury retrograde is going to be the same as the second half of the Virgo risings around education, travel, and belief system. But the second half of your Mercury retrograde is going to have to do with other people's money and other people's resources. Oh, this might get tricky for y'all. So Libra risings. You need to reevaluate any type of finances, money, resources, business that you have in conjunction with another person or another entity. So this could look like a business partner. This could look like your spouse. This could look like family. Anyone or anyone that you have a connection with on a financial level, I would strongly suggest that you start to reevaluate your financial situation and see if there is any type of cracks or things that you did not know about that you should have known about. You may be surprised at things that you find out about. Okay. Reassessing your finances with someone else. This could also be, and I love this house because this is a money house. So this is any money that you get outside of your earnings from your job. So some of my Libra risings could be receiving surprise checks in the mail. They could be receiving, this is good for people that owe you money that could possibly, you need to go and collect your money. So either you can go to them now and collect your money, or they may actually just pay you your money back. Okay. This is great for refinancing. This is a great house. So if you want to refinance your home loan, you want to refinance your car, you want to renegotiate your interest rate on your credit cards, or you want to renegotiate the premiums you pay on your car insurance, this is excellent energy for you to do that, because this is all about renegotiation. Okay. So if you can do that and you can get all those things lowered, that's excellent energy for this. Now, this is also a house that governs sex and intimacy. And you're another one, Libra risings, that could be seriously seeing someone from the past. Now, it's house of sex and intimacy. And y'all know I love talking about sex. So, now, this could bring back someone from the past that you've had an intimate connection with. Again, I would caution you about getting involved under a Mercury retrograde, because this could put you in a place of falling right back into the relationship just as it was, and then later on you're realizing that it's just the same thing over and over again. So be very careful on people that come into your life that you've been connected with before returning. However, if someone comes back into your life and y'all have this great chemistry together sexually, who am I to tell you not to hit it one more time? Okay. So if you feel like that you can hit it one more time and not get emotionally connected, I'm all for it. Okay. Protect yourself, whatever you need to do, but be prepared for someone coming back that probably blew your back out in the past. Go ahead, do what you gotta do. Just don't get caught up in the situation. Just don't get caught up. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So that's my Libra rising second half. So guess what? Scorpio rising, that's the first half of this Mercury retrograde for you. Okay? Now the second half, Scorpio risings, and this is crazy because the second half for you is about one-on-one relationships. So you are definitely someone that could be revisited by people from the past. Okay. Now, when I say one-on-one relationships, keep in mind, that's not always romantic. Could it be? Yes. So this could be romantic. This could be business. This could be family, friends. Anyone that you've had a one-on-one connection with could be returning to your life. Now, there could be someone in there that is a benefit to you. Okay. And if anybody knows how to vet people, it is Scorpio. So I'm not worried about people coming back into Scorpio rising's life because they know how to vet. But they could be coming back with an opportunity. Now, those of my Scorpio risings that are in a romantic relationship or in marriage or whatever that situation is for you, this could bring up issues from the past in your relationship in an effort for you to look at them again and try to get them resolved. Or this could be a complete renewal of your love for each other. This is great energy for you to get back to the place that you guys were at before. Bringing back the love to your relationship. This is all about that. Now, this is also the area of legal proceedings. So, if there has been there could be a legal issue that comes up. I'm just going to say it. There could be a legal situation that comes up, and don't always think that you're getting sued. I mean, that could be, but not always getting sued. It may be come up that you legally get married. You decide to get married. The idea of getting married comes up again, and you guys decide to get married. So you now have to legally get married. So you're signing a legal contract. Okay. The only thing I would tell you is, if this is something that you guys talked about before, this would be a good time to do it. If this is something that's just brand new, let's just wait. Let's just wait and just slow down on that. But legal proceedings could come up for you. Legal issues could come up for you. The signing of legal documents. Just be careful about what you're signing, Scorpio risings. Be very, very careful. If you need to get a second set of eyes on it, please get a second set of eyes on it before you sign anything. And that's with anyone. If we're signing any type of contracts, just read all the fine print. If you can get someone, even if you can get a lawyer to look at it, even if you can just get your friend to look at it. Maybe you're not comprehending something clearly and someone else can read it and they get a different meaning to it, okay? So just making sure you get clarity around things that you're signing off on. Sagittarius rising, what I just talked about with Scorpio is going to be the first half of this Mercury retrograde for you. The second half, starting May 22nd, Sagittarius rising, has everything to do with your health, mental and physical, your work environment, pets, the foods that we eat, and service to others. So you're another one that could experience a health challenge that comes back, okay? When health challenges come back, this is the universe's way of giving you a little nudge in the direction of taking care of yourself. Because if you do not do it, then the universe is going to create a real situation that forces you to take care of it. So this Mercury retrograde may be just that little nudge that the universe is saying, hey, I need you to pay attention to your health. I need you to take care of these things that you know you need to take care of health-wise. Okay? And when I say health, I mean mental and physical health. So this could also be an energy of some of my Sagittarius risings deciding to finally get into therapy. You've been thinking about getting into therapy, you know you need therapy, and you decide it's time for me to do it. This could also look like those of you that want to restructure how you eat. So you could be deciding, I'm going to go on a diet, or I'm going to change how I eat. So that may look like I'm going to try being a vegan or a vegetarian, or I'm going to eliminate certain diets from certain foods from my diet. But I'm going to restructure how, restructure how I take care of my physical body, restructure how I take care of my mental health. Now, the work environment is also in this area. It's about to get real chaotic with your work environment. I'm just going to put it out there. Some of y'all may end up quitting. Some of y'all may get to the point where y'all are so frustrated with this job and you are so over it, and it's probably been a buildup of this thing coming. You might quit or you might get fired. I'm just going to tell you that. But for me, I'm always optimistic that when situations like this come, that is the universe's way of pushing us, because we would have never done it on our own, pushing us into the direction of something better. Okay, so if you do get fired, you know, don't wallow in it. Regroup and start your job search from the perspective of jobs that you've applied for before. Okay, now if you apply for something new under this energy, you probably won't hear anything back from it until months later. So this is why I'm always an advocate of going back to things from the past during this time, because you're probably going to have better supportive energy with something from the past. But just keep in mind, your work environment could be very chaotic, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of being late to work. Do your best to get to work on time. If you love your job, you love your job. But this period right here may be just a little chaotic, and you may even question whether or not you even like this job. Let's just do the best we can there, and it'll be okay. It will be okay. So, does anyone have any questions from, I don't even know where I stopped, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, or Sagittarius? Any questions? If not, we're going to wrap up the last two, and I'm going to let you guys go. I mean, the last three, and I'll let you guys go. United can't quit me. But you know what? Just think of it. Okay. I'm just going to add this. It may not necessarily be quitting or getting fired, but you may want to look at how to restructure the job to make it better for yourself, make it easier for yourself. If you've gotten into the space where you feel like it's just old and stale, this could be the energy where you figure out, what can I do differently in my current job to breathe new, fresh life into it? Okay? That's what you can do. All right? So, Capricorn risings or Capricorn suns. The Sagittarius second half with the work environment is the first half of the Mercury retrograde for you. And then the second half of the Mercury retrograde has to do with your dating life, children, procreation, things that bring you joy, and your self-expression. I love this house. This is like my favorite house, because this is all about joy and what you love and what brings joy to your life. And this is the area of hobbies. I want my Capricorn risings to go back to hobbies that they used to do that they no longer do. And I think that this is going to be good for you. Things that used to bring you joy that you used to do, bring them back into your life at this time. So whatever hobby that was, whatever creative project that was, whatever mode of self-expression you had, go back to that and bring that back into the forefront of your life. Now, this is a dating house. This is a house of dating. So you're another one, could be hearing back from old loves, old people that you dated. You could be another one that gets a lot of people in your DMs and sending you messages and reaching out and hey boo and hey big head and all that old bullshit. So just be careful with the dating prospects coming back, because you're another one that has strong energy around people coming back in a romantic level. If there is someone in there that you want to rekindle the romance with, take it slow. Take it slow. Making sure that we are not rekindling the old issues. Now, if you're dating someone, this could bring up a little bit of miscommunication with y'all. So try to be very diligent in your communications with people that you're dating. Try to be very diligent. I just always warn against a lot of texting during a Mercury retrograde, because either the text is not going to go through, or the person on the other side of it is going to read it wrong. I always read text messages wrong. I always read a text message as you trying to talk shit to me. So it is never really good to send me a text message. You need to get on the phone so I can hear your voice and I can hear the connotation and I can hear the delivery, because I read everything as you trying to talk shit and then I start talking shit. So it's really not good to do text messaging with me. Just, whatever. I mean, if you ever send me a text message, just know that. But making sure there's clear communication with you. And this is good for renewing the romance. This is good for you guys getting back to that space where when you first met and you were all in love with each other and it was goo goo gaga and all of that. This is great for that. So this is great for the renewal of your relationship. This is great for the renewal of old hobbies that you had for yourself. This is great for the renewal of old projects, especially creative projects. Going back to creative projects that you've had for yourself. This is all about finding your joy. This is the house of joy. Okay, so this is finding your joy again. And because this is a house of procreation, some of you may be hearing about you are pregnant or someone close to you is finally pregnant. Okay? Aquarius rising. So the second half that we just talked about with Capricorn rising is the first half of the Mercury retrograde for you, finding your joy. And then the second half of the Mercury retrograde has to do with your family. So Aquarius rising, this could play out with a potential for a move for you. And a very unexpected move, okay? I don't know why. Maybe the house that you're renting, the owners decide they just want to sell it and then you have to move really, really quickly. Or you've been looking for the ideal place and you finally find it and you have to jump on it immediately. But this bodes for energy around potential for a move. This definitely can bring up family dynamics that need to be addressed. So there could be a lot of communication, a lot of arguments, a lot of talk within the family dynamic with regards to a situation that has been going on and has been brewing. Communication can heal things. Things that just need to be said and gotten out in the open. This is the time that you will possibly be doing that. But it's increasing communication, particularly around women. So prominent women in your family, mother, grandmother, sister, your daughter, the women that you hold close to you. Now, if it's not a family issue, this could just be simply you need to reconnect with the women in your family. You need to reconnect with your mother. Maybe you've not been spending enough time with her, haven't been talking to her. Pick up the phone and call your sister and see what's going on with her. But renewal and reconnection with the family and the family dynamics. And this is also, this is great. I don't know who this is for. Whomever is trying to sell some property or something and it hasn't been selling, look at it differently. Get a new real estate. Maybe you need to get new representation as far as a real estate agent. But you need to get in there and figure out how to renew this property you're trying to sell. So like I said, you may need to get a new real estate agent. You may need to restage the house or do some repairs to the house to make it more sellable. Okay? That's my Aquarius risings. And finally, Pisces risings or Pisces sun. So the Aquarius second half is actually your first half with the family dynamics. The second half of the Mercury retrograde is in your communication. So just like Aries, you need to be mindful of your communications, what you're saying, what you're hearing, what you're understanding. Be careful with your transportation and your driving. Please pay attention. Also, you may have some issues that come up with your car that need to be addressed. I hope not. Be careful with signing contracts. Okay, again, you're another one. If you can get a second set of eyes on things that you have to sign in under this energy, it would help you greatly, because you may be reading something and not understanding it, or you may be skipping over something and someone else catches it. This is also a good energy for renewing the communication with your siblings, your cousins, your extended family, and it may be renewal or increased conversation or activity around your neighbors or something going on in your neighborhood. Maybe there's a re-beautification project going on in your neighborhood or something like that. And this is great for reunions, family reunions. So if you're having a family reunion coming up this summer, this is great for seeing the family. And that is it. That is how the Mercury retrograde is going to play out in everyone's rising sign. Does anyone have any questions? Always, the video will stay up, so you can always come back and look at it again, listen to it again. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. You guys have been a great audience as usual. If you are interested in a personal reading, visit my website, I am going to pin it. Oh, something's wrong with my computer. See, something's wrong with my computer already. Well, I'll pin it later because my computer froze up. This is Mercury retrograde right here. At its finest. An example. My computer just froze up. So I'll pin it later, but if you want a personal reading, please visit my website, www.melaningoddesslife.biz. I also have my manifestation candles on there, so if you need a manifestation candle, let me know. Order it on there. Please follow me on all these social media platforms. So I'm here on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. And I'm on YouTube. I need to grow my YouTube platform. So if you would be so kind, go over, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell for all notifications so you can always be reminded when I upload a video. So if we don't have any questions, I'm going to close out tonight's live. Keep me updated on how you guys are moving through the Mercury retrograde. If everything's going well for you, I wish you the best of luck. You guys have a great May, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.